Everyone's always telling me, John, you're such a cheap ass. You never spend any money. Are they right? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about the differences between being cheap and being frugal, aka strategic spending. Ever since I grasped the concept of money, I have always been called a cheap ass. It doesn't matter if I spent tens of thousands of dollars traveling the world or if I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in properties. Nope, I'm still a cheap ass because when I go to the bar, I don't buy everybody shots. I don't have the newest shoes. I don't have the newest cars, and my laptop's broken. So I guess I'm a cheap ass. I just think that I'm using my money in a more strategic way. I'm leveraging it so that later in life, I am set up. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it now as well. An example of this would be all the traveling that we do. We'd rather just spend our money on experiences rather than things, and I think that's just personal preference. I don't believe there's right or wrong to it. Some of the people that used to call me cheap now wonder how we had this money to invest in these houses for cash and to travel all over the world. Well, that's because we were strategic with our money and we chose not to spend it on frivolous things. We didn't spend it on brand new Nikes and shots at the bar and eating out at restaurants every week. We saved it and we invested it. We invested it in things like Rihanna's school, these houses, businesses. That way our money is working for us. We also put a lot of money in our retirement accounts. Our hope is that one day, well, not our hope, but our plan is that one day this money's working for us and giving us money versus having to work for it all the time. We will always work. I don't believe in retirement. I believe you would go absolutely crazy if you had to actually retire. At least I would. But I do believe in not always having to work for money and doing things that you want to do rather than things that you have to do. So that's why I believe so much in this strategic spending. Be very cognizant of what you're spending your money on. It kind of goes back to my last video, right? The wants versus needs. You need to always be thinking about that because the more strategic you are with your spending today, the less choices you have to make later. That way you don't have to choose between the vacation and the shoes and or going into debt to afford those things. You can have it all without the debt. You just have to be smart about it now and make temporary sacrifices right now so that you can have those things later in life. All right, guys, I hope that explains a little bit about being cheap versus being frugal. I think there is a big difference. I think cheap is just when you don't spend any money at all and you save every single dollar. And being frugal, aka a strategic spending, is just calculating your spending and spending it more wisely than most. And I think that will get you to your goals much sooner than just trying to keep up with the Joneses and buying every single new item that comes out. A huge statistic that blows my mind and proves my point even more is that Americans spend on average $1,500 a year on coffee and alcohol each. $1,500 a year. Meanwhile, more than 30% of Americans have less than $1,500 of savings in their accounts. How does that make any sense? That's completely backwards. So if I'm cheap because I have a lot of savings, and so be it, you can call me cheap. I actually like being cheap way more than I like being broke. All right, guys, hope this video helps, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram and Snapchat. See you guys later.